Hello, everybody. Chris Hamilton here with www.salestipaday.com. And I am just getting set up to get this broadcast going. Got my coffee going. I appreciate everyone showing up today. Before we get started, we're going to start it here at about 5-7 minutes, something like that. Just thought I'd get going to start with. On this, and just bear with me as I get all this stuff kind of set up. I have if you're watching on the landing page I sent out in my email, there is a chat box down below. I'm looking off the side, I'm monitoring. There's a few people on there. We'll get a few more on. If you're in YouTube, I have the chat going off to the side, so hopefully I could pop back in and out every once in a while. I'll put a message in here for questions here. And I've also got, I'm trying something new out today. Last time I used Periscope and was broadcasting. Today I've got Facebook Live going off to the side. Hopefully people can see me. I'm not watching the screen on Facebook Live because I find it too distracting while I'm doing the webinar. So if you ask any questions there, chances are I won't see them until afterwards. I'll try to answer them then. And last but not least, I will have so if you want to ask any questions during the broadcast, you can. My cell phone number, if you're in North America, it's 403-630-1243. Once again, 403-630-1243, and that will to ask any questions. So bear with me. I'm going to put something in the chat box here. Okay, is that even going? Bear with me for a sec, guys. Technology and all that good stuff mess things up. By the way, if you can see behind me, I'm going to tell you a story here. I got a workbench. I got my treadmill. In front of me, I got a big, huge screen TV so I can watch. I used to upstairs and in my house. So I've got 3 levels. I got to walk out down to the basement here. I used to have an office upstairs, but I have a couple of younger kids, and they used to come in and out all the time and start interrupting, especially when I was doing webcasts like this. So I set my office up in my nice little workroom down here, which is actually, it's a spare bedroom. But anyways, that's why if you look behind, you'll see weights, you'll see a whole bunch of different things. This is where I try to work out. Having a bit of a problem with the chat right now, so just bear with me for a second. Try to get this going. My internet has been causing me grief for months. So if anyone here is from Canada and they're using Shaw, that's what I use. If anyone knows anyone with Shaw, please let me know so that I can, because it drives me nuts that my internet goes up and down, especially when I am watching like Netflix with the kids and it stalls out halfway through a movie or something like that. It drives me nuts. Anyways, viewers now popping on. Just going to check my Facebook feed, make sure that that's all set up half decently. Bear with me for a sec. And excellent. I've got a couple of people on there. I noticed that Bob Brown was on there. Bob Brown, is that you from Tecumseh? I can't tell. Once again, I won't be asking, I won't be checking my questions on the because the problem is I've got my Brown, so I can't see the screen. I just find it way too much distraction while I'm trying to broadcast here. So we got about 3 minutes until the broadcast will officially start. And oh, I see the problem here. Let's get off that. Better feed. And hopefully this works. Yep, so bear with me for a sec here. There we go, working. So if anyone's on the landing page, the live chat I'm looking at now, it's down below. You can ask your questions there. Once again, you can also text me at 403-630-1243, and we will get started here in literally a couple of minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now put this to the screen for a sec. There we go. And unfortunately, the people on Facebook Live aren't going to be able to see this, but you'll be able to hear me talking to it. If you want a copy of this presentation or you want to see a replay of it, anyone that's on Facebook Live, you can send me an email at chris@salestipaday.com, and then what I will do is I will send you the link for this. And with that said, you know what? I'm going to get started. It is almost top of the hour, so here we go, getting started on this swing. So originally, this presentation was literally learning how to use LinkedIn for social selling. I've changed it up a little bit, and the reason being is because one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do I use LinkedIn to generate business or get sales leads that will ultimately come to business? So one of the things I thought I'd do is I've got multiple ways that I use LinkedIn to generate business online. And the ideal thing was I kind of distilled this down to 5 ways to generate business on LinkedIn. So with that said, once again, I'm just going to say, if you need to ask me any questions, if you're on the landing page down below, you can ask questions. You can text your questions to 403-630-1243. Or apart from that, if you are watching via my YouTube channel, I've got the chat box open and I will answer any questions there. So there you go. That's it. So before we get started, also, this thing, it's about a half an hour long. By the end of it, you should have at least a couple of strategies that you could use to start generating potential sales leads through LinkedIn. And then from there, obviously, once you get a sales lead, it's up to you to close the business yourself. But this will help you find better qualified leads and stuff. So why listen to me? So oftentimes I say, I walk the walk, and I use LinkedIn every day. I joined LinkedIn in March of 2006. There's about 4 million people on it. Hold on, taking a drink of coffee. There's about 4 million people on it, just over 4 million when I joined. Now there's over, I believe, 500 million. So literally I joined when it was within the first 1% of people that are currently on LinkedIn. Now, the other thing too is that my past, I have worked for Fortune 500s and startups. I've owned companies. I've done a bunch of different things like that. And really, one of the biggest problems that I had was when I was a startup, we had no clients. When I was working for Fortune 500s, typically they were new in the marketplace and I had no clients. So I had to figure out ways to get clients. So LinkedIn was, to me, kind of an easy way to do that sort of stuff. So what you're learning here is a culmination of about 11 years of experience on LinkedIn, and shortcutting you through to a whole bunch of different things. So I walk the walk. Every day I use LinkedIn to reach out to people. I currently own an accounts payable software company, and that accounts payable software company, we took from literally having no sales last year to, we have a pipeline of over $10 million sitting in it right now. And when you think, here, let me put it in perspective. We have approximately, actually it's about 12 to 15 million kind of sitting in the pipeline right now of potential opportunities. We're doing this with software that sells at like $20 a seat, 50 people, is that here's some of the things that I do that I've done or I've used LinkedIn. So I used to work for a company based out of Boston that was in the mergers and acquisition space, capital markets, stuff like that. And when I walked in the door, I decided to take a different approach than most of the other salespeople here. So what you're looking at, if you can see this online, and for the people on Facebook Live, it's a graph of myself against the other 220 plus reps in this company, and my activity level is so much further ahead than everyone else's. Now, I ended up sending 22 times more emails, booking 10 times more meetings, booking 30 times more demos than the average person in the company I was working at. And I did it all in about half of the time of other reps. So I'm going to let this is the first time I kind of let people in on a secret. I mean, I didn't even work full time at this company. I got paid for full time, but I never worked full time. I was doing this as a part-time job, leveraging some of the stuff that I'm going to teach you today. But the fact is that I was able to book more meetings. I was able to send out more emails, and I did that through MailChimp, but it was because I was meeting so many people, I got to put them on a list. And then I booked so many more demos because of the fact that I was able to find the right people in organizations and show them solutions. So way ahead of anyone else in the organization. So I'm just trying to show you a little bit of street cred here on this thing as well. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into 5 ways to generate business on LinkedIn. So the first tip that I talk about is your profile. And your profile is extremely important. The reason why your profile is extremely important, it's your billboard on LinkedIn. It's the first thing that people see when they come to LinkedIn if they're looking up for a product or service. And here's what's interesting about products and services. Literally, 50% of the people that are in a B2B buyer role go onto LinkedIn to try to find products and services. And 84% of C-level people who have budget that are buying products and services go onto LinkedIn to find a way to get someone that can help them with that. Now, here's the scoop. Half of them will completely ignore your profile if it's incomplete. And when I say incomplete, I'm talking no picture, very little information, a whole bunch of different things. So what I'm going to show you right now is, first of all, how to beef up your profile. And then obviously once it's beefed up, I'm going to show you how you can get people to contact you directly. So just a few stats I want you to know about right now. 76% of B2B buyers prefer to work with recommendations. So the point here is that you're connected to a bunch of people on LinkedIn, or hopefully you're connected to a bunch of people on LinkedIn. Your close acquaintances and people on LinkedIn and people that may not be on LinkedIn that you're connected to, big thing for you is to let them know exactly what you do and the problem you solve, so that when somebody who is looking for something actually be able to recommend you. And in fact, that happened to me the other day. I met someone through LinkedIn, had a coffee meeting with them, and right now they have introduced me to someone who absolutely needs my service right now. So we're in the midst of just going through this, and it'll probably end up being a few $1,000s is what this is worth to us this month. So I'm pretty excited about that and happy about it. So that's where that works. Buyers who use social media, i.e. LinkedIn, spend 84% more per purchase. Social buyers make 61% more purchases. Social selling leaders, so people are leveraging social selling, leveraging tools like LinkedIn, typically have 45% more opportunities in their pipeline, and also are 51% more likely to hit quota. Now, go back to the slide I just showed, which shows you the sheer volume and activity that I did in about half the time. These numbers start to make sense. Salespeople who reach out with valuable insights are 5 times more likely to get a response compared to people who reach out cold. So if you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn with valuable information and insight and not coming across as a spammy salesperson, typically you're going to end up with more opportunities or more chance to get in the door. And those stats all come from LinkedIn itself. This last one actually comes from Salesforce, and it's 78% of salespeople who use a social selling process, i.e. using LinkedIn to generate sales opportunities, sales leads, outperform their peers. So that's a huge thing. So now into the tips here. So just a few things, just so you understand where you can get up to 15 times more views. of your LinkedIn profile. You must complete your profile. LinkedIn does a wonderful job of explaining to you what you have to do to get your profile to basically be in 100% filled out, or what they call all-star level. First of all, a picture. You need to get a picture onto your profile. If you do not have a picture, get one. Make sure it's a professional headshot. If you can't go to a professional, at least get someone to take a nice picture of you, a spouse, life partner, friend, whatever it is. Get them to take a picture of you. You get 11 times more views. No pictures, basically 50% less views coming to your profile. If you have a premium account, and I have a whole bunch of benefits on premium accounts, but I'm not going to go into it. It's awesome how much more opportunities you get. But you get 15 times more views if you have a premium account. The other thing too is if you put your education in, you will get 10 times more views by putting in skills. And so there's a section there, skills and endorsements. If you put skills in, you get 13 times more views. So I'll give you a real life example on this one. So my company, what we do is we work with accounts payables, accounts receivables. And oftentimes when I go onto LinkedIn, I try to find people that are on, let's say, QuickBooks, because we integrate to QuickBooks. So I will do a search on QuickBooks for people in a specific area, and I start going to profiles. And the problem is that you go like, where do they have information on QuickBooks? So when I do a Command F or a Control F, if you want to try to find stuff on your computer and type in QuickBooks, a lot of times it'll show up down here in the skills and endorsements section. So that's a huge way to get found. You could put up to 50 skills and endorsements in. And when you do that, you will have you'll have more opportunities walking the door, people reaching out to you as well. So there you go. The other thing too is if you put in more than one role or one job, typically you get 12 times more views. Unfortunately, if you only have one job in the past, then at least just put it in there as well. So now look, here's the scoop. A complete profile is going to help you generate up to 15 times more views. So basically, against your peers, you're going to get a lot more people viewing you. Now, the other thing too is once you have a complete profile, one of the things that I've noticed with LinkedIn is your results will show up higher in the results. So if someone's looking for a certain type of person, a certain field, in a certain geographical area, if your profile is very complete and filled out, typically you're going to rise to the top of that list on LinkedIn. So that's one of the things that you got. The other thing too is once people get to your profile, you have to give them a reason to contact you and how to contact you. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do that. On the upper part of your profile, there's a little pencil here. You can click that and you can change a lot of stuff in your profile. So you click on this. This is your headline. And this is the first line of the summary. So I'll give you a couple of give you an idea on this one. So usually what happens is LinkedIn takes your most current job and puts this in here. Quite honestly, no one gives a shit if you're a salesperson at XYZ company. They don't really care. What you need to look at is, the market you serve, what you do, and a call to action. So the market I serve, I'm your so who you are. So basically I'm a small and medium sales and marketing go-to person. And what I do is I generate up to 10 times more sales leads, and then the call to action, ask me how, put it in there. So basically, people can reach out to me. Now, I have a premium account, and I've set it up so that anyone can reach out to me free of charge on LinkedIn. This one is, that's your tagline. Whatever you do not put your phone number, email address in here. That breaches LinkedIn's terms and conditions, and they can shut your account down. So the other thing you can do is in your profile, what you do is the first line in your summary, put in your phone number and your email address. And the reason being is because more and more people are going onto LinkedIn on a mobile setting or a mobile device to find you. And LinkedIn makes it they're fixing things up, but it was really tough to find the phone number and stuff before. So literally I put it right at the top, because if it's on your summary in the first line, it gets pulled into your mobile profile. So this is on an iPhone, and it says, look, you can get me here, or if people click on here, it'll expand it and they'll be able to see my email address. So that's how people get a hold of you that way. The other thing too, is that on your profile, you have the ability to add your phone number, your email address. You can change your profile, where your profile displays at. You can put your website in. I've got my regular website, I've got my YouTube channel, and I've got another one which lands to a it goes to a landing page where people, if they click on it, can get daily sales and marketing tips. So they can click on here and I capture their email and I start marketing to them. Once again, what I talk about is the growing numbers of people that are accessing stuff via a mobile device on LinkedIn. This shows you kind of what's going on with LinkedIn and the growth that they're going through. Unfortunately, the last I have is Q3 2015. But really at the growth rate that it's going at, it's the vast majority of people are accessing stuff on a LinkedIn profile. So the point I want to make here is go onto your iPhone, go onto your iPad, whatever it is, or your cell or whatever, and see what your profile looks like from that standpoint so that you can see if it's easy to get a hold of you. Once again, just some of the things that go into your profile. This is a desktop version. You start to clean this up and it gets dragged into your online version. And it just brings all this information in. Make it easy for people to get a hold of you. So once again, some tips here before we go on to tip number 2 here is fill out your profile 100%. Think about your profile from a potential client standpoint. Don't write it like a resume. Use specific keywords to get found. So for example, if you are a construction software person based in Edmonton, make sure you have Edmonton, make sure you have construction software and the stuff you do. That's how you'll get found with the different keywords in your profile. Look at your profile on a mobile phone or an iPad or a mobile device and make the changes appropriately. And also give people multiple ways to contact you. In my summary, I've got my email, my phone number, a whole bunch of different things on my work experience. My most recent ones, I've got my email address and everything. So I give people lots of ways to be able to reach out to me and connect with me. So this one here, tip number 2, is what I call the digital referral. I actually have like a 4-week course that I teach on this, although I haven't done it recently just because of the fact that it is so time consuming and I'm spread thin right now. But on the digital referral, really, I'm going to teach you something that will, if you look at this, will completely change the way you approach LinkedIn. If you forget 4 of the 5 tips that I show you today, pay attention for this one is really what I'm going to say. So it's not who you know, it's who you know and who they are connected to that's going to make you succeed on LinkedIn. So for example, what do I mean? I go in and I search for like a VP of sales in my network. In my first level connections, I'm connected to 16 people in Calgary that are a VP of sales or a vice president of sales. Now, if I click second level connections, that goes from 16 to 294. That's an 18-fold increase. So I know people that are connected to 294 people that have the title of people that I want to go after. Now, here's what you do. I'm going to look at, say I want to approach Byron here, right? So what I do is I go into Byron's profile. Down below in the highlights, it says how many mutual connections you have. And it says both, you and Byron both know like Craig Elias, Mark Roberg, and 25 others. When I click on this, it brings this list up. And just right off the top, there's 2 or 3 people right in here that I know that I could leverage to make an introduction to Byron. Now, here's how I do this. What I do is I send my connection an email that starts out with, can you help me out? That's the subject line. It says, hello, person's name, hope all is well, hope you can help me out. Taking a new solution to different companies right now. Hope you can help me out by making an introduction to this person at this company. My solution helps companies by doing whatever this benefit is. Do you know them well enough to introduce me? If so, here's an email you can use, or here's an intro you can use. Subject line, introduction to Chris Hamilton, email body, hello. And I know this is very small for you to read. That's why I'm reading this out and going super fast, by the way. A friend of mine reached out to me to see if I can introduce it to you. His name is Chris Hamilton. I've known him for a while. He helps companies reduce costs, increase revenue, whatever it is, with his product or service. He tells me that companies can typically see an X% of revenue increase or a reduction in costs of X% or whatever your value prop is. He was hoping to get introduced to you, and I wanted to check with you before connecting the 2 of you. Do you mind if I connect you? Regards, and then you put their name in. So here's the reason why I do this. And first of all, I do not send this message through LinkedIn to my connection to introduce me. People don't look at their messages on LinkedIn very often. You have to send it to their email address. The reason why you do this is because if you ask somebody to go and make an introduction for you, what happens is that person then has to think about what the hell they're going to do to introduce you. It's going to be like, hey, my buddy Steve wants to meet you. He's got a product that he thinks he can help you out. That's not very compelling. By dumbing this down and giving the information to someone, literally what you're doing is you're creating the path of least resistance. You've got this, it's done, copy, paste, send it off. It takes all about 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds to do this. The other thing too is that if the person responds and says, yeah, I'd like to meet with this person, here's what's really cool. That is a pre-qualified lead. This is a person saying, you know what this guy does, I kind of got a need for this. Let me see this. So it is utterly amazing. So I've already gone through this and talked to you about this, but some of these, but I'm going to go through literally some of the stats here. Only 11% of salespeople have a formalized referral process. To me, this is a referral process. I call it the digital referral. Referrals or word of mouth result in 65% of all sales. So these two first stats come from the Word of Mouth Marketing Association. They also close at double the rate, spend 14% more, and close in about a quarter of the time. You also can book 2 to 4 times more meetings with qualified builders or buyers. Once you put all these factors together, really what happens, this results in about 120 leverage factor that you can get. So there's no reason why currently today, by doing something like this, and literally I'll tell you what, this takes me all about 10, 15 minutes a day to do. This is my prospecting. I reach out to 3 to 5 people a day doing this. And there's no reason why you can't double, quadruple, 10x your business just by doing something like this. So I'm going to show you my results. So my results, typically when I send out an email to do something like this, 40% of the people that I send it to will make that introduction for me. 50% of those people will come back and engage with me. That's a 20% overall. So out of every 100 I send something out, I get 20 of these people into a phone call, email thread, or a face-to-face meeting. So I've got some sort of an engagement going on with these people. Cold calling, according to Baylor University, a study by Baylor University and also by IBM, has a success rate between kind of 0.3% and 2%. The approach that I just showed you is 66 times more effective than picking up the phone and cold calling. So I would highly recommend, like I say, if anybody here today wants to completely change the revenue that they're getting, just do this 15, 20 minutes a day. I've really stripped it down compared to what I normally do. If you want to know more, I do have a course that I could let you purchase. It is $99. I might have it at the end here. I don't know for sure, but I'll send it out in an email after the fact on this one too. So that's the digital referral. It's amazing. It has done wonders for me on transforming my business. And like I say, I've got a pipeline, robust, like $10, $12 million sitting in there right now, with probably a quarter to half of that will close within kind of the next year to 18 months. To go from a company of 0 to that kind of level is utterly amazing. So here's something else I'm going to teach you. A couple of tips and tricks that are kind of similar. So tip 3 and tip 4 are very similar, but this one is the premium account in-mails. So Peter here, for example, is a premium account member. How do I know? He's got this little logo right here in the corner of his profile that shows that he has a premium account. Now just bear with me. I got to take a drink of coffee. Throat's getting sore. When you go onto his profile and I look at it, if you click this button right here, InMail, what happens is it will bring up an InMail message. Now, normally, if you have a free account, and literally 82% of people on LinkedIn, I believe, have a free account. If you click on that and he's got a premium, then what happens is this pops up. If you look down in the corner here, you can barely see it probably, but it says free message. Peter has his account set up so that he can take emails in from people. And what you do is you put a subject in there, you put your message in there and hit send. Now, once again, don't be too spammy, provide value. As I said before, you get a 5 times greater response rate. I'll show you one of the things that I did. I was going specifically after sales managers and organizations, VP of sales. I created a course on something called teachable.com that talks about how sales managers can leverage social selling for their salespeople. And then what I did was I sent them a message through here, and it says enroll in this course. Normally I put a price on it of $299. I gave them a code that would allow them to register for free. I have an assistant in the Philippines, Christine, who's wonderful. What Christine did on a daily basis was she would reach out to 10 to 30 people across North America that have a premium account that allowed us to do this sort of stuff. And I would send this to them, and I built up an email list on people with this and started engaging with them just by providing this one valuable piece of information. So once again, I'm providing value first. Eventually, what I will do is build a relationship with these people and then ultimately bring them back around and create a client out of this person. As I said, you know what? Typically, these are actually $11, but the math's easier for me because I'm not sharpest knife in the door. $10 each, let's just say, if you're going to send an in-mail, if you have a free account. Like I say, she was sending 10 to 30 a day. I was basically getting $2,000 to $6,000 in value each month while my assistant was doing that. Now, she's doing this right now with LinkedIn and doing it with our accounts payable software. So this is a huge advantage for us. It's, you know, if you start to incorporate this, this is great too. It's a great way to do it. Once again, approach people with something of value, keep it short. And you know what? I get Christine, my assistant, to track the connections, because you can go back and keep sending stuff to these people. I would kind of go back every 3 months, send them something new, And over time, these people will end up, seeing the value that you bring if they're in your target demographic, and then you start that conversation and start getting them as clients. So here's something else. So that was the premium email outreach to people. There's another way you can do this with group in-mail. So I'm using Peter again. When I go onto his profile, I can see that he and I are part of mutual groups. So if I click on that mutual group, I can see that, you know, we're part of the young oil and gas professionals and oil and gas industry people, or whatever, a couple of different groups. Anyways, how you can reach out to people that are part of the same group is you go into your, up in the upper part, you're going to see your little profile picture on the right-hand side, and then over here is work. Click on that, click groups. Then what happens is you go into my groups. You search, or you start putting in the like a title here, and it'll bring up the group. So we're part of the Young Oil and Gas Calgary group, right? I click on that, and then what it does is it brings up the group, and it says here's all 9,207 members. I click on this right here. It's a hyperlink. What that will do is it brings up the member list. If I put Peter's name in here, or start typing Peter's name in, he pops up, and when you hover over here, it brings up a little envelope. Click on that envelope, and guess what happens? You're able to send Peter a message. So same sort of thing. Take that message that you had, provide value, and send it to him. Now, the scoop is, do this. You have to be wise when you're doing this. The reason why you have to be wise when you're doing this is you only get 15 of these a month to send out. So make sure you're not just sending it out to people that really can't leverage your service or use your service. And, just helpful hint. Just go after your target demographic. There's another way to approach people too. So if you're in the groups and you're looking around and someone has a question. So our RC Sachs here has a question. It's been a while since I've been using Peachtree Sage Accounting. Does anyone know a class preferably in the Long Island area, preferably on Long Island? So first off, if I teach Sage Accounting on Long Island and I see this, what I would do is, once again, I'd go into this group, I'd click here, I'd put this person's name in, and then she pops up, and I go click and send a message. And then I would just send off and say, hey, RC, RC, or whatever her name is, however we pronounce it. Hey, I saw your post on the Bookkeepers Club. Yes, I teach this. Here's what we do. Typically, students will, put you a little bit of value prop in there. Would love to talk to you a little bit further about this. Do you have time to connect today, tomorrow, on the phone, in person, blah, 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 whatever it is. Click, send, boom, there. Now you're prospecting on LinkedIn, solving people's problems. What I would not do is I wouldn't respond in the thread on the group. I would just take it offline and go directly to them. Hey, we're coming up on the end here, and it's about half an hour, so I said it'd be about half an hour. So one of the last things that I think works very well is reaching out to people on LinkedIn on their birthdays, their anniversaries, and any new jobs. So you actually have the ability to potentially reach out to people 3 times a year on LinkedIn. If people are starting multiple jobs in a year, it'll be even more than that. But typically people only have 1 birthday a year and stuff like that. So, basically 3 times. Now, here's the scoop. You go into your notifications on the upper bar, and it brings stuff up. It says, hey, this person's got a This person's got a birthday. These people are started a new job. These people have a work anniversary. So here's what I would do. These guys fire off the email, say, hey, Aleem, happy birthday. Hey, Jim, happy birthday. I don't know these people. I can't tell by their picture. But when it comes to this one and this one, there's a thing that you can do that is pretty cool. Add a personalized message. So it's like, congrats on the new job. And if they're in a sales role, you can say, hey, let me know who an ideal client is. And what I'll do is I'll keep my eye open for you. So what you're doing is you're providing value to this person, saying, hey, guess what? Here's the scoop, man. I'll help you out on this stuff. So that's a great way to be able to, reach out to these people on a consistent basis. So you know what? Congrats, guys. You've just gone through the 5 tips on this stuff. And you know what? I just want to talk to you a bit about an offer, a couple of minutes here. I have a LinkedIn course online that is, it's a monthly LinkedIn training course that I have. And realistically, what it is it includes all the courses that I've created on LinkedIn, plus a whole bunch more. I've got webinar replays. I got new monthly content going up on this stuff as well. There's over 40 hours of content that will help you out with LinkedIn and how to leverage it. Literally what you're going to learn all these tips and tricks for finding, landing qualified meetings, best way to generate sales leads on LinkedIn, how to get found by buyers, how to get 15 times more sales leads from qualified prospects, a whole bunch more. You're going to get access to all my future courses. Typically, just because you've sat through this, what you're going to see is the monthly cost is $39. It is, because you sat through, $19 a month. I'm going to send a link out on an email for anyone that was registered for this today. If you want to find out more about this and you weren't registered, then send me an email at chris@salestipaday.com and I will get this out for you and send you a link to it as well. It says that there's like $800 worth of value. I got to change that because there's actually about $1,500 of value in the course right now that's sitting out there. The other thing too, when you look at this, sorry, let me just pull this back. I want you to understand there's a 30-day guarantee on this thing. So you can go in, you can access the course for 29 days and 59 minutes and then cancel, and you will get your money back on this one as well. So there you go. That's the thing. Because I'm in Canada, I talk about this. The average rep in Canada makes about $30 per hour. My monthly plan is $19 US. So basically I say 40 minutes. It's basically what you're looking at is about the first 59 minutes of work. The course is paid for each month. So there you go. So I'll send a note out to people on this. There's the link if you want to get it. So it's bit.ly/LinkedIn_membership_site. We'll get you the coupon code for that. And then what you want, if you want to get a hold of me, reach out to me at chris@salestipaday.com or email me or text me or call me at 403-630-1243. And there we are. We're 1 minute over half an hour. And would just like to say I appreciate you taking time out today to take the course in. If anyone has any questions, they can ask me down below. They can text me right now. Facebook people, unfortunately, on Facebook Live, I can't see if you got any questions. Actually, you know what? I'll turn it around and see. Hey, Scott Shipley, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Kirk Hamilton. Sorry, it might make you a little sick here. If you have any questions, just reach out to me and we will go from there. Apart from that, don't see any coming in. Thanks a ton for showing up. I'm going to put a note down here in the chat box. Thanks for showing up. There you go. With that, I am going to stop sharing. I'm going to wave bye to everyone. Thank you very much. Thanks for the people on YouTube that showed up, people that showed up on the landing page, and Kirk Hamilton and Scott Shipley and someone else who showed up on Facebook Live. Appreciate it. Thumbs up. Hey, Scott, happy birthday a couple days ago. I got to say, didn't realize that your parents planned to have you and Rob almost on the exact same day. Okay, everyone. Thanks a ton. Appreciate it.